Well, we are winding down on the presidential election season with less than 2 months to go, less than 50 days. And social media can affect voters more than ever. And luckily for us, we have an authority on social media, Giselle Ugarte, pronouncing that right?
Yeah,
right?
you nailed
Joining
it.
us here in the Arc Lounge. Yes, love it when I pronounce those right. So you've got 15 years of experience in both creating and studying online content, which is obviously a very long time.
Isn't that crazy?
So why are people prone to engage with negative content, maybe more so than positive content? You would think that you would want the positive stuff because of the world that we're in right now, but a lot of people go towards the negative.
It really is. I mean, we are just more prone to not only absorb, but also respond to the things that make us angry. We're more inclined to do that versus the things that make us happy. And then what that could happen is you can have a really destructive and toxic social media experience, especially now, because this is where a lot of people are still behind. You think that what you're seeing on your feed is who you're following. But in actuality, on every platform, from Facebook to LinkedIn, YouTube, TikTok, everything is based off of what's called recommendation.
Algorithms and all that stuff too,
it's
right?
based off of where you're spending the most time. So it doesn't matter who you follow, it doesn't matter what you're liking, or even if you're commenting, you're getting fed what you're consuming. So if your feed looks like a dumpster fire, that's actually a reflection of you. And I want people to recognize that, where it's, listen, if your feed is toxic, it's not because social media is toxic. It's because you're one of those people who, for whatever reason, the anger sucks you in. So that's also where you can change your experience. Make it positive, make it constructive, make it inspirational, or perhaps maybe take a little break.
Yes.
And just remind yourself there are people on the other side of that screen. It can be really easy too to get angry or to reply in ways that we wouldn't in person, become those keyboard warriors, because we don't remember, oh wait, there's a human on the other side of that experience who has a heart, who has a goal, who wants to build a life. And so just remember, you don't have to engage in every debate, but you are in full control of your experience, and remind yourself we're all on the same team here.
You have the power to create change in what you're exposed to on social media. That's a really important message. I know that you've spent time as a motivational speaker and influencer, obviously. What would you say is the biggest change that you have seen? Has it always been kind of that focus on negative, or in terms of social media, since it's been around for so long, what's the biggest change that we've seen maybe recently?
I mean, the biggest thing is that we want to connect with real humans. We're sick of perfection, we're sick of the highlight reel, but also now the playing field is even. We're even think about when your career started. You
changed
had
a lot.
To get your foot in the door even. You had to know someone or go to a casting call or start really, really small. And now all of us have phones, all of us have cameras on our computers, more than likely, not every, but most people do. And so what's crazy is that I started my speaking practice, because my background is also TV and radio. I started my speaking practice from my kitchen table in the middle of the pandemic. And all I had was my phone and my computer. And that was also even when I got the most traction in my influence online. And so what that's telling us is that we want to see more of these everyday stories. That's one of the reasons why I still love local news, is you're highlighting what's immediately in your surroundings, whether it's your home or your backyard, what's really going on that maybe on the national level people are out of touch with. And so I encourage people that if you feel a calling or a story on your heart, or if you want to engage with someone else's content, you see them going after their dream, you want to bring that positive spin, you want to be that light, we need more of that light. But how awesome that it used to be you had to wait, and now actually you can share your story and you can go after your dream if you want to share things publicly in a way that we couldn't before.
I like that. What would you say are some of the red flags that indicate a user is engaging in social media in a problematic way? What should people be looking for?
Especially when you start to isolate yourself. And here's what I see as really problematic is where your time is going. Because there are those of you who you're out there, you know who you're going to vote for, either because
most people do.
You are so in favor of that candidate, or you are so in opposition of the other one. If you already know, then let's really think about, is it worth spending and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, going down those rabbit holes where you've already made your decision? That's a lot of time wasted. And then all of a sudden you get numb in the scrolling. You dehumanize the people in opposition. You lose sight of your time and perhaps even yourself. And when you get into that place of isolation, then that's what can be really, really problematic. When you start losing friends or hating other people, when we stop communicating in real life, I believe that's the root of all evil.
Yeah.
And what I hope that you can do with social media is actually be willing to have engaging conversations. It probably won't start most productively in the comment section.
Yes.
Maybe it's in the DMs, maybe it's over the phone, maybe it's over lunch in person with someone. Because let's think about anytime that you changed a really radical opinion, it wasn't because someone forced it down your throat or bullied you or shared all of the memes with you or all the propaganda with you.
Yeah.
It's because you slowly started to recognize the values of something or someone else, the possibility in something else. And someone introduced you to something or had those conversations, was willing to listen and helped you to see another perspective, whether or not you agreed with it. And that's also how we can just be brought back down to earth,
Yes.
where it can be really easy to escape our bodies.
It really is. Some really good advice. Thank you so much for your time this morning.
Thank you for
Appreciate
having
it.
me.
All right, we'll be right back.